You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Good morning, kids. Wasn't that a treat to have some help? Old Papa Charlie had to sing by himself, and now I had two beautiful women with their beautiful voices joining me. I thought it sounded pretty good. What do you think? Well, welcome this morning. I hope some new friends have been tuned in. And remember, tell your friends about Papa Charlie. I've got a lot of stories coming up, and I think you'll enjoy them. And you're going to learn a lot and have a lot of fun doing it. Okay, now today's story is about a worm. You all know about worms. There are different kinds of worms, you know. There are worms that are this long. That's almost 10 inches. That's called a night crawler. And you don't see them many times in the daytime, but if it's raining during the day and overcast, they can be out in the grass, but they're hidden down under the grass. They don't make themselves known. And then at nighttime, they come out on top of the grass. If you have a flashlight and you're fast and you know which end's near the hole, you can get them and catch them, use them for fishing. Worms are so valuable. There's also a small worm like this called a red worm. It has little yellow bands around it. Those are used for fishing for bluegill and perch, but the bass like those night crawlers, big ones. And there's also earthworms. They're from this long to this long. They're a little fatter. They're easy to put on the hook than red worms, and you probably enjoy it, but they also tear off easier. But bluegill and pond fish, bass, they all like them. Birds like worms too, and other insects eat worms. Snakes eat worms. I think fox eat worms. All kinds of animals eat worms. Worms have a lot of protein in them, but worms are one of our best friends when it comes to having good food, because they put a lot of what you call compost and humus in the soil. When they go through the soil with a little nose, they sniff a piece of leaf under there or a piece of compost, whatever it is. They eat it, and as it goes through their body, it's changed. When it comes out as a little poo-poo at the end, they're called castings. And those castings are full of nutrients for plants, for flowers, for vegetables. And without worms in the soil, we wouldn't have very many healthy plants or a lot of food. So remember, God made worms so that the stuff He has on the earth would grow. Worms don't grow in certain areas with lots of sand. You won't find worms. But where we live in Ohio, there are many, many worms. Worms are very important for us, so don't think it's not important. When you see one crawling across the sidewalk, don't smash it. Help it, put it on the grass so it can go back in the ground. If they dry out, they die. So help them out. See a poor worm crawling, put it aside, okay? Now today's story is about two worms, actually, but first of all, I'll show you a picture. These are two worms on top of the grass, and notice this end here is in the ground, in the hole, and this one has this little hole here. So if danger were to come, they go. They're in that hole so fast you can't believe it. So fast you can hardly see it. But birds are sometimes faster, and the birds will watch them and creep up on them and like that. And then they take it in their mouth, they pull out the soil all the way, and then they fly up to the nest and feed the baby birds, or they eat it themselves. I want to show you how worms come out of the ground. Here's a picture of a cutaway. They dug down here and they found this worm. Here is still in the ground. It goes up like this, and here his head's coming out through the hole. This will be his hole, and if he's a smart worm, he'll stay near his hole. But today's story, you're going to find something happened to the worms that don't listen to their mother. Well, Squirmy had a big family, a lot of brothers and sisters and cousins. They all lived underground, and he could hear stories about other worms that had been up on top. They were older worms, and he said, "Mom, I'm going to go up on top the next time I hear the rain coming." And she said to him, "Squirmy, you think just because you squirm you can get away? There's danger up there. A bird can get you, somebody can step on you, or some other animal can find you and eat you up." He said, "Mom, I'll be very careful." She said, "Okay, if you go up, be careful you don't leave your hole. If you go out of your hole, make sure you don't leave the area. You find your hole quickly." So he said, "I will, Mom." So he's starting along. And as he sleeping that night, he hears the rain come pitter patter on the grass up above. So he crawls up through the ground and pokes his head out of the top, and he smells the air, and it smells so fresh because it had been raining. And he goes out a little bit more and feels the grass. Oh, that feels so good. So he crawls out a little bit more, and he says, "This is wonderful." So he tries to do some squirming, which he loved to do. Squirming is another word for wiggling. He loved to wiggle real fast and roll over, but he couldn't do it while he's still in the hole. So he came clear out of the hole, and he was flipping over, wiggling this way and this way, having a wonderful time. He thought, you know what? It's dark. I think I'm safe. I'm going to go and explore. So guess what he did? He started crawling slowly, and boy, he took a drink of water off the wet grasses. So good. Then he found a piece of grass. He ate some of that and says, "Oh, that tastes delicious." So he went a little farther, and pretty soon, boom, he bumped into something. Guess what it was? A big earthworm this long. And he says, "Oh, excuse me." The earthworm says, "That's okay. I'm out here too. I'm having a good time. How about you?" "I am too." He said, "Why don't we crawl around and explore together?" And so the nightcrawler said, "Okay." So as they went along, exploring, taking a drink once in a while, eating some grass, they had a fine time. And Squirmy says, "You know what? I bet I can do something you can't do." And he said, "What's that?" He said, "I bet I can squirm faster than you." So he showed him how to do it, right and left. And he said, "Oh, I could never do that." And they crawled a little longer. Pretty soon it's getting light out. And he thought, "Wow, we got to watch it. It gets light. Birds might get us." He says, "It's not too bad yet, though." But all of a sudden, a big shadow came over him, and the nightcrawler says, "Run quick, run quick." The nightcrawler took off as fast as he could, but something came down and scooped him up and carried him up into the tree and to a nest. It was a robin, and the robin pulled him apart and fed him to his little bird babies. But guess what? Squirmy got away, and he went around and found something bumped into, and he crawled under it, and here was a piece of carpeting that kept him in the dark, protected from all birds and everything. And he was there enjoying himself a little bit, relaxing, getting a little sleepy now. But all of a sudden, whoosh, somebody ripped the carpet up. Here was a little girl. And she saw Squirmy down there, and she picked him up with her warm fingers and looked at him, put him in her bait can. And that wasn't too bad because she had some moss in there. So Squirmy was moving around the can. Pretty soon, other worms joined him. This little girl kept picking up worms and putting them on top of Squirmy. Squirmy kept on top of him. And pretty soon, the girl yelled, said, "Papa, I've got enough worms now to go fishing." So he said, "Okay, let's go." They went down to this lake, And pretty soon, Squirmy was picked up again by these warm fingers. And next he felt something go, oh! Something pricked him. The girl was putting him on a hook. And she pricked him again. Ah! Oh, it hurt so bad. And then, next thing he knew, he's flying through the air. And landed on the water. And he went down under the water. And that cool water felt so good. He said, oh, it feels good. And he said, you know, I should have stayed near my hole. I'd listened to my mother. And I hope I'm not sorry. All of a sudden, boom! Guess what? The next thing you heard was a girl said, Papa, Papa, I got a big bass. And she pulled the bass out of the water. And guess what? Squirmy the Worm was no more. That's the end of the story. Now, today's story is a lesson for us. Our mothers know best for us. So when Mama says something, you listen to your mother and your dad, okay? They know what's best for you. So, if you like my story, tell your friends, give me a like, and until next time, Papa Charlie, the storyteller, will see ya. Bye now.